Greetings Internet, DDA here, and well, I'm pretty scared right now. Looking outside, it's a winter storm is brewing. We got winter storm Juno coming in. You know, it's about to hit New York and Boston, get like 2-3 feet of snow. I don't know how much snow we're gonna get in the Pennsylvania area, but it's supposed to be pretty bad. I'm already off of work tomorrow, and I thought, what better way to spend my time than recording a Dragon Ball Z video for you guys? So this week for my card of the week, we're doing Saiyan style. If you didn't get a chance to see last week's card of the week, which was red style, red lightning slash, please click on the link. I recently released a video that I recorded way back in, August 2014, when we were preparing for Gen Con, and just, looking over that video and seeing how high energy I was and how excited I was with the new release of the game, I realized that I kind of got away from myself there. Everybody goes through things in life, and just like Vegeta was on the brink of death and opened his heart up to Goku, spilling all the emotions that he had for, his family and his heritage and his planet, and how it was destroyed by Frieza, maliciously just crushing all his hopes and his dreams and his livelihood of being a prince of all Saiyans and living in his father's footsteps. Just as Vegeta died and was reborn again as a new character, as someone who was going to save the planet rather than destroy it. I've been born again, so I hope you're ready, folks, because we're going to have a blast. So the first thing I did was decide to revamp my card of the week. I asked all of my closest friends what they thought the most important things of a card of the week should be. What are the most important things that make a card powerful? These are some of the best Dragon Ball Z players in the world that I asked. And I got a wide array of different opinions. So much different opinions, in fact, that I couldn't hone in on to exactly what it was that made a card stronger than another. There's just too much different cards in this game. There's too many different effects that are useful in certain situations. For this reason, this might be why that most other communities haven't really decided on a structure for a card of the week. If you remember when Pojo.com used to do card of the week, they did kind of like a panel where multiple experts of the card game would give their opinions of a card and rate it based on 1 to 10. Likewise, Top Tier Gaming is doing a similar thing where they have a panel of players that give their opinions on the card. But there's no real structure. There's no one saying that these are the things that make a card good and these are the things that you have to look out for. So I sat down and I tried to do that. And really I can only break it down by card type, and I had to keep the categories very general. So I decided to kick things off, start with a rough draft, see what works, see what doesn't work, and develop it over time. So we're going to kick my newly structured card of the week segment off with Saiyan style with Saiyan Wrist Block. This card has an effect. Stops a physical attack. Your opponent's MP loses 3 stages. Now when I thought of the things that make a block powerful, the first thing that I thought of was total damage reduction. The reason that you play a block in your deck is to reduce the damage that's done to you. So the most important thing that you're going to want to know when you're deciding whether to play a block in your deck or not is how much damage it's going to reduce that you take in. Saiyan Wrist Block is a physical block. It's not an Omni block. It doesn't stop both physicals and energies. It only stops physicals. And in this game right now, energies seem to be the highest threat. So I'm going to put that a little bit lower on the totem pole. A physical block isn't as useful as, say, an energy block would be, or an Omni block would be, of course. But one thing that this card does have going for it as far as damage reduction is concerned is when you do stop a physical with it, it is reducing your opponent's stages. It is then reducing your opponent's power level, which could possibly reduce his AT chart. There are a lot of MPs in this game that only stay in a certain bracket, a higher bracket, on a very small number of stages. 1, maybe 2, sometimes 3 stages. For example, Trunks on his level 4 is only in F, the highest bracket, on his top 2 stages. Even if Trunks is at full and you use this card on him, you will knock him down a bracket. And that is great in terms of damage reduction. That will reduce all his AT damage done to you by 1 damage. Outside of physical attacks, as far as damage reduction goes, this actually will help you when it comes to energy attacks as well. This may only stop a physical attack, but your opponent losing 3 stages means that that's 3 stages less that he has to perform energy attacks. So as far as damage reduction is concerned, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, it's a physical block, so it's limited. It's not an energy block, it's not an Omni block, but it does help you not only reduce the physical damage done to you by being a block, but the physical damage for the rest of the combat by reducing your opponent's stages, and energy attacks also by reducing the stages that they have to pay costs. The next thing that I thought of to judge blocks on were their effects. There are a wide array of effects in this game. There are just simply too many effects for me to break them down into specific categories, so I made a general one, effects. The key word that I want you to think of when you look at this card is stage management. I've said several times before that stage management is important in this game, and it's shown through with this card. The main thing that you're going to get when you play this card in your deck is stage management. That is anti-stage management. You're disrupting your opponent's stages and your opponent's plan he has for combat. He's entering combat with a certain number of stages. He has a plan in his mind. He has certain blocks, and he has certain attacks. And this block is something that he can't account for. Even energy decks play some physical attacks. Blue plays blue betrayal, blue head knock. Orange searching maneuver, orange uppercut. And let me tell you, if your opponent enters combat with an orange uppercut in his hand, performs it, pays 2 stages, and gets a nice energy attack that he wants to perform, he's gonna cry if you use this card to stop that physical attack. The big thing about this effect that sets it apart from the other blocks is that it targets your opponent's MP. Unlike its counterpart, Saiyan Lightning Dodge, this block specifically targets your MP. Your opponent can't redirect this stage loss, whereas with Saiyan Lightning Dodge, it just states that your opponent has to lose the stages. It doesn't say where he has to lose them. He can lose them on any personality. Your opponent is hard set on losing his MP stages with this card. And not only that, it is not to a minimum of 0, like Saiyan Lightning Dodge is. That means that this can actually do damage and destroy cards off the top of your opponent's life deck. That makes this block's effect extremely potent. It does exactly what you want it to do, and your opponent can't do anything to stop it. He is losing 3 stages off of his MP, whether he's taking it in stages or in damage. So because of that, I give this card a high score of 4 out of 5. Its effect is potent, it's strong, and it always has an impact in games. The third and final thing that I'm going to be grading blocks on is combo potential. Now, and this is just how this card is going to mesh with other cards in the Saiyan style and other cards in your deck. There's one theme that is strung wide throughout Saiyan style, and that is you being stronger than your opponent. Aside from Trunks, there are a lot of characters that can declare Saiyan style that really aren't that strong in the first or second levels of the game. Where a character like Trunks, who reaches his D bracket on his mere level 2, would overwhelm you with power, a card like this could be the difference between you being stronger than your opponent. One of the big cards that combos with this card is Saiyan Clothesline, and it combos twofold. Not only are you going to take the 3-stage loss off your opponent and possibly making yourself stronger, activating its secondary/immediate effect, but also you're going to be reducing your opponent's stages, hopefully lowering him a bracket, bringing you into a higher bracket than your opponent, increasing the AT damage, and therefore making the strength and damage of Saiyan Clothesline that much better. With how many cards in the first set require you to be stronger than your opponent in Saiyan, I can only imagine that they're going to build on that idea in future sets. This card is going to stay high in terms of usability. It's not going to go away. Saiyan is always going to want to have more stages than the opponent and is always going to want to be stronger. Saiyan was traditionally a physical beatdown deck in the old game, and it is a physical beatdown deck in this game. This card plays in exactly with Saiyan's victory condition, its win condition, which is beating your opponent into a pulp. You want him at 0, you want him taking a lot of damage from your physicals, and that's why I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 for combo potential. So you look at this card, you add up the scores, you get a total of 11.5 out of 15. Not a bad score. I really like this card. I think it's, I loved it in the old game, I love it in this game. I can only imagine that in future sets, Saiyan is going to build off of the idea of anti-stage management on your opponent. Bringing your opponent to 0, keeping him there, and locking him down. And that is Saiyan style. Well, I hope you enjoyed week 6 of my card of the week, Saiyan style. Tune in next week where I'm going to choose one freestyle card that I like and talk about it in the same way that I did this card. Stay tuned for a lot more content. Not only am I going to continue this newly formatted PanZ card of the week each Tuesday, but stay tuned because I'm going to be starting a Score Z card of the week soon that follows a similar format, as well as a comparison between the new game and the old game that I'm calling the Real Gold List. If you like this video, please hit the like button to let me know that I'm doing alright, and be sure to turn your dial to this channel for weekly updates for the Dragon Ball Z card game.